Family. That's right. I'm stealing your saying, Gary, with a little twist to it. Good morning. Good morning, family. All family members. My distant cousins, the ones that you would never want to hang around. But you still say hi to them anyway. And my real family, the one that I'm going to spend an eternity with real soon. You guys. So I kind of took a break yesterday. I mean, if that's what you call a break, I guess. I felt like it was a break. I didn't do enough. I was too busy trying to figure out how to play guitar with YouTube lessons. Look, guys, alright? If this is a game, okay? Well, hey. I'm just playing along. You know what I mean? Just playing along. I mean, wouldn't you? If people called you a vampire, Satan, the devil, and that you're evil, and that you're a liar, well, wouldn't you just play right along with it? And say, well, yeah, I am. That's right, I am a vampire. Ah, damn it. That bulb. You guys, did you turn the bulb up or something? So yeah, man, we're all just playing along. We're playing the role. I guess it's the role of, let's see. When you tell the truth, the game is, hey, let's be like it was in the days when Jesus was walking around. And let's try to make up some false railing accusations against him and try to catch him in a lie and say that he's a devil. You know, normal Wawa run. Look, guys, if you're allowed to play the game, then it's a game, right? You can just play a game. What game do you want to play? The landscaping business game? Whatever, man. You can't change anything. I didn't come on here trying to change the world, because it ain't gonna happen. God's gonna do that in the very end. He's gonna allow all this crap to happen. It's supposed to happen. Everything everybody's going through is meant to happen. But the sad thing is, most people know not what they do. But after all this, I'm trying to let you guys, all you guys who are not me guys, okay? You guys. I still believe that everybody's going to be saved in the end, besides that demonic bloodline. That 500 million plus. And that's why I said that there's certain people that are they're help waking people up and they don't even realize it. However, when you know that the words that are coming out of your mouth, they're just not the most how do you say it? How do you say it? You could probably have have been a little bit more honest. Let's just say that. When that happens, well, you kind of, it's like, look, all right, hey. That's why they're called distant cousins, because I would never spend time hanging out with them. I spend time talking one time. That's all I gotta do is talk to you one time and then go like this. It's up to you after that. And you guys know exactly who yous are. No more names, man. No more names. Tell you what, I sure am hated. That I can see. But not really. Just look at the threads. Look at the threads. It's like, I mean, by now, look, the threads are, anybody who is led astray, their blood is on your hands. That's all I'm saying. Not my hands. Yours. So just take a look at the trash. I mean, it's I haven't searched other people's channels per se. I mean, I have a couple, you know, big timers, and I just don't see that spew coming out of anybody's mouth. But again, they hire the moderators. I don't hire moderators. I just let people see the comments for what they are. You can watch the video and you can see, are these comments valid? Or are they absolutely asinine? I already know the answer to that, but I leave it up to everybody else to discern for themselves. So what are we doing today, guys? Where are we going? I went to my favorite park yesterday, and I'll just say, yeah. See, I'm the approacher, right? And the reason why it reminds me of the thread. When someone starts small talking with you with a tape measure in their hand, in the freezing cold at a park when you're with your dog. I'm not into small talk, okay? Because I can see, I can sense exactly what this is about. God's given me senses. I use them. I use all of them. I use the spiritual sense. When you smell something, it doesn't, you can't literally smell it, but you know what it smells like. When you hear the sound of the trumpet, what are you hearing? Huh? Parabolic language. There's a buzz going on around town that something's getting ready to go down. Only to those who can hear the sound of war. You can call it a trumpet. That's what I call it. I call it a trumpet. Even though it doesn't sound like a trumpet. Because spiritually, again, it's a spiritual meaning, the sound of the trumpet. Nobody's out there really blowing a trumpet. But you hear the buzz going on around town as to what's getting ready to jump off and go down. All right, I keep stopping where I'm at. Well, like I was saying, when you have I mean, there's nobody there's nobody really, like, you know, watch anybody or anything like that. It's just a game, remember? I mean, look, if Scotty Tissues can play games and just go along with it, well, then I guess we're all allowed to do that too, right? Or no? It's just only the inside can do that, or the outside too. But I'll tell you what, these things sure are delicious. Here's how much I'm hated. Same feeling that I got from my kid's mom, who back when, a long time ago, when I left, she had this spirit in her. Man, the spirit was relentless. And then when God took me to a place to rehabilitate me from being a dirty, disgusting, filthy sinner like I was before, 14 years ago. Well, after that year and a half, I got out. She thought I was getting back with her. My mind was made up that I wasn't, because nothing has ever changed. And you can see it's like when you don't get your way, okay, this is the spirit. I'm not talking about an individual person, I'm just talking about the spirit. This is a spiritual thing. There's a spirit that dwells inside of you. When you don't get your way, and let's just say the other person is actually telling the truth, but you're not getting your way, what do you usually do? Well, you find anything you can against that person, and you try to get them in trouble. You try to get them locked up. You try to literally slander their name so people don't believe them, right? I mean, isn't that the ultimate goal of what Satan is trying to do to people? So, let's just say this. Every time since I got out of jail, when I got in there 14 years ago and I got out 12 years ago, ever since then, every time I've encountered something like this that's going on right now, well, I always knew who's the driving force behind it. And I always came out on top in the end. In the end. Through, during, in between the battle, it's a battle. Because if it wasn't, then there wouldn't be any fighting. There wouldn't be any vile words coming out of people's mouths or in the comment section in that thread. So needless to say, my kid's mom tried to pull something on me. Right after I gained full custody of my son, because I fought for my son, even though I was a criminal, but the situation my kid was in a bad situation. So I got him out of there. And it took me 3 years, court battles, proven truth, nonstop, where it got to a point where they said, okay, we need to restrain her from you and your kid for 3 years. So the restraining order was granted for me to keep me from being harassed. Now, if the court of law was the same, I would have already done that same exact thing. However, it's twisted around now, and it's supposed to be twisted around. That's why you can't get mad. The only ones getting mad are the ones that can't prove what they're saying is true. Because, well, they know it's not true, but they keep trying to portray that it is to other people, and you'll just keep at it until the day that you fall on your face begging God for mercy. And that's the bottom line, and I accept that. And if that's on the very last day, well then, okay, that's fine. That was my goal anyway, to get you guys to turn to him. Trust me, it's a lot easier if you just turn to him humbly, instead of having to beg in the very last day because of all the deception. I'm just playing along, guys. Okay? Can I? Someone asked me. What did you ask me, Mark? If I wanted to play a game or something? Let me try to see how far back that was. Do you want to play a game? I said I didn't want to play the game. I wasn't playing games. But now that I know that you're allowed to, like you can say whatever you want and then backtrack and say I'm just playing. I'm just kidding, guys. Do you forgive me? Look, guys, can you forgive me? Huh? Well, you have to. You have to forgive me, right? I mean, isn't that what God's rule is? But here's the thing. I'm not asking for forgiveness from you. Any of you. I've already asked for forgiveness to God for what I've done in my life. I'm already sealed. I'm just waiting. Now, that doesn't mean I don't still apologize to God and ask for His forgiveness and for the sins that I commit daily. Yeah. Whatever it is. Whether it's just making a judgment call and I'm wrong. Or just cursing at somebody. Try not to. A lot of times I ask God, why'd you make such dumb people? And I got to ask him for forgiveness for that too, because I was dumb at one time too. That's why. But you guys are here. We're all doing God's will, okay? In a sense that there are certain people that are doing God's will because they know what His will is for them to do. There's the blind who are doing God's will because God's the one that created Satan, and Satan works for God. He has a job to do. He signed his soul away at the very beginning of the creation because he wanted to rule the world. Remember, it's like a lease. God gave him the papers. He signed the lease, and when the time is expired, well, he loses his soul. So he's full force, just about. It's like everything that he's done throughout creation, he's about 95% full. There's 5% more that he has to go. And now let's say 7%. All right, he's 93%. Okay, 93% finished with everything that he's planning on doing. And there's about 7% to go. And that 7%, it's going to be the last, it's the last 7 years. Or it could be the last 7 days. Whichever way you want to take it. The skies are blue today. That's a treat. I can just do a video 5 minutes long. Like some people. And really say nothing. And I'll still get bashed. I count it as a blessing. Every single time that I can make a video, I count it as a blessing. It's still house money, okay? It's house money. Every video is house money. No matter what happens to me, to my family, to you guys, to my other family, no matter what happens to all of us throughout this great tribulation period that we are just about near the end of, that's the greatest part about it. Understanding things spiritually, when you understand it, well, if you don't, there's fear in your heart. And the fear leads you to doing and committing sin. Because you know the new world order is coming in place, right? Everybody knows that. It's just the fearful, well, they're the ones that don't. It's like, well, I don't know. I mean, you know, in case God doesn't stop like these crazy people are saying, look, man, I'm with you. Where do I sign? I want to continue to live because I love my life to death. Straight to death. Well, I love my life too. I used to enjoy I'll show you a picture. You know what? I found a couple pictures of my drawings, and I found a picture of my son. A flag. I found a picture of my son that he drew. That he drew. My son drew a picture when we were in court. I remember he was 7 years old, right? Okay. And he drew my orange Mustang. And this was the day that I gained absolute full custody. And it was his mom and her dad, because her dad had custody. Because me and her parents went to court against her when I got out of jail to get him away from her immediately, because I wasn't set up yet. I wasn't ready. But at least I got transferred him to the grandparents. And then her dad, well, I told him, I said, just sign custody over. It'd be a lot easier. And he couldn't. He wouldn't do it because I understood. He didn't want to just sign over, and because his daughter would, oh my, I mean, look, it's like Satan just being there at your presence. You know, just you know, Satan. People understand the feeling of when you know there's a demonic spirit in people. Okay, so he didn't sign it over. So I said, that's fine. I went to court. I had all my homework and everything, and I left it up to the judge. I presented my facts, and I leave it up to the judge. Now, at that time, I'm talking about a human judge. Spiritually, I knew God was with me all the time. Because as soon as she started opening up her mouth, spewing lies, I knew that before I go in, as I'm praying, for the judge to just see the truth. That's it. That's as simple as a prayer as it can be. Heavenly Father, dear Heavenly Father, before we go into court, during court, I just ask that you would open up the judge's heart and spiritual eyes and understanding so she can see through the lies. All I want is truth to be revealed and the lies to be exposed. So when we were out after, you know, signing the paperwork and everything, I thanked her dad for doing what he needed to do at the time. And he really appreciated that, because he wasn't my enemy. She was my enemy, even though I wasn't looking to be her enemy, but I was her enemy. I was her enemy first. So if I'm her enemy, then we're enemies. I mean, I'm not trying to be. But my son drew a picture. The orange Mustang, right? And it's so funny because he drew a yellow sun. He's 7 years old, and he drew a yellow sun. Think about that. That was 8 years ago. He's 16 now. 8 years ago. I didn't tell him to draw yellow. You know what I mean? So when a 7-year-old's conscience, sorry, like nobody talks and eats, right? When a 7-year-old, in his conscience, he knows to draw a yellow sun. Does it look yellow to you? Not at all. Not anymore. So guys, family, no matter what, everybody who's trying to take me down, right? It's like when you understand the stories in the Bible that are there for these days to set as an example, and you know when God has always told them to move you know, what was it, Moses, when the fire at night, cloud by day, follow where the cloud is. If the cloud stays there, you stay there. If it moves, you follow it. And then at night, you're protected by fire. It's the same thing. Not that we're going anywhere physically, just spiritually, you know what the next move is. Again, it's a game of chess. That's why chess was created. Chess is the ultimate thinking man's game. That's why I love that game. You know what? I'm gonna go on. I think I'm gonna go on the computer and play that computer, and just record a game of playing chess, and see what level, see the highest level I can go to play that computer, to play AI. See who's smarter, AI. But yeah, guys, look, this is just, it's to the point where it's actually funny. I mean, to the point where I'm almost like dying laughing when I see the obviousness. I mean, proof of what I've been saying this entire time with all these videos. I don't have to prove it to anybody. I know what the truth is, because when you see the results from you pointing out the truth, well, it just verifies it. Yep. Check. Yep, that's exactly what yep, says that in the Bible. These end days. But the blind, they don't realize that they are part of the Bible in these last days. And the ones that love a bribe and the ones that love the lie, you guys are part of it too. You guys are the ones that are firing us up. So we just, because we're getting fired up, we're devouring you with the word of God. You guys are being slain, okay? Some of you are being slain because you actually turn to God after you're slain by the word of God. Others are just being tormented. Tormented. Because there's these two witnesses that roam around the earth. And it's not just two people. No, it's not just two people, okay? It might be two spirits of the same, human and spiritual. But those guys are tormenting you day